So last year, well, I'll start with this. My father-in-law grew up on a farm just west of Fond du Lac. Charlie, you might know. You know where Neshkoro is?
Yeah, right over there, huh?
Yeah, just west of Fond du Lac ways.
Sure.
And unfortunately, last year there was a house fire, and so the original part of the house was destroyed enough that they had to tear it down. But my question is, I need some advice on how to rebuild it, because he's a guy that wants to do everything on his own, and he knows a lot about construction, but I'm his son-in-law, and I want to know more, and I want to be able to help him, but I don't know shit about construction. And so I want to be able to help him rebuild the new farm and learn a little bit at the same time. So I was wondering if you had any advice on how a guy who knows nothing about construction can still be useful in a process like this.
Now,
as well as some Midwest advice from you, Charlie, on how to design it or what I should put in it or whatever.
Oh, okay. I like how he already takes away the fact that I know anything about construction by saying,
and then he adds in a question for you.
Yeah.
So first question is, are you a little bit insecure about not knowing as much about construction, and you're worried that he's gonna kind of roll his eyes at your current knowledge, or you just want to learn?
I guess I would say I'm a little insecure, and I'm not. He doesn't like work construction. I guess it's more of a way that I want to just make myself useful and be like, I don't know, because he's not really like a construction worker. He's just a guy that likes to do stuff on his own. So he's kind of learning as well, but I don't want to just show up and do nothing. I want to make myself useful. So I want to figure out a way to make that happen, but not look stupid at the same time.
Well, first, I just want to say you're a great son-in-law. You're really putting the effort in on this one. Now, Miles is the resident bellied up construction expert, so
I wouldn't go that far.
I'm going to let him take the lead here. I'm just his little tackle box.
Now,
right?
I think the most important thing right off the bat is the way that you're going to get exposed by this work is if you do something and you do it wrong, or you don't use the correct tool, or maybe you swing a hammer and you miss every single time. So what I would do is because if I know anything about father-in-laws, they're very particular about how they want stuff done. And what you should do before you start any project that he is giving you, you want to say, I know how I would do this project, but I want to do it the way that you want me to do it. So if, do you have anything that you would like me to do so that I don't do it wrong? And I want to respect what you want to build here.
Sounds like you talking to your dad right now.
A little bit, yeah. So then it's like, he knows how to do this. He just wants to do it the way that I want to do it. He's going to like you more. You're going to do it the correct way. And you're going to hide the fact that maybe you don't even know how to do it at all.
Sure.
And then when he gives you
that makes sense.
When he gives you that little bit of leeway to go do it in the way that he tells you to do it and whatever, that's when you got to make sure you have access to good internet, because you're going to need YouTube.
Yes.
You are going to need to YouTube the hell out of this thing. Do not try to do it on your own. And don't try to just follow the way he tells you to do it, because you're not going to remember that. Let's be honest. You're going to miss a critical step. And then his whole damn house, it's not going to catch on fire. It's just going to fall down on him. And then you're going to have even bigger problems. So make sure you YouTube it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, also, don't pull permits. It's just going to cost you more taxes. And I don't think you even need permits out there, do you?
I don't think so.
In farm country?
Yeah.
Nah.
He has a building permit. It's posted on the wall somewhere. I know he's done that. But
did he write it up in Sharpie?
Oh, I didn't have one.
Oh.
Also, you're going to have...
He is very...
I would also Google common construction lingo if I were you. If
sure.
Hey, we just got to move that a skosh, right? You're like, okay, well, how far is that? Do I go left? Do I go right? You got to know these terms ahead of time so that when he is using his lingo, you're going to know what to do. Otherwise, you're going to be standing there with your hammer in your hand wondering what to do.
Yep.
I'm also going to throw this out there. You've got to start pretending like you have a hearing problem now. Lay the foundation for him to repeat stuff often and give yourself plausible deniability where if you screw something up, you're like, I'm sorry, Pop, I shot the gun too much and I can't hear as good. So I'm out here trying, but I've got this hearing impairment.
Yeah. All my years of doing construction, I just have bad hearing from it. I should have wore ear protection. Yeah.
Yeah. And actually that's yeah, the construction, the gun, or you can say you got memory problems because you hit your head on the construction site too.
Yeah.
And so then make him write it down. Write the stuff down. He's going to remember exactly what he said to you. It's going to go in one ear, out the other for you. So make sure you write it down.
Another tip when you're writing this stuff down, if you use paper, he will know so fast that you'd have never done anything construction wise. I want you to grab any piece of scrap. It could be sheetrock. It could be a 2x4, could be plywood. And you write anything that he says down on that. Therefore, he will know that you're not an imposter because you're using a pen and a piece of paper.
That's great advice. It's always a big freaking square pencil and a 2x4 is your notebook.
Sounds good.
What are you specifically nervous about going into this? Is there something in your mind you're like, I really don't know how to do?
I guess it would be just like, I don't know. I'm a teacher, and so I'm not really familiar with like building things. And he's like doing this from scratch. So I guess like framing or putting in drywall or things like that. I just need like he hired someone to help because he's not like a professional construction worker. So he has people that come in and like do stuff. So I guess just the biggest thing is just like trying to find like what little things do you think I could do as a person who never really like I don't need to help with any like the major stuff. It's mostly just like the little things that you can get done on the weekend or just things like that. Like, what do you think are some things that I could be like, hey, Chad, what are some things you need help with that I could easily get done? What do you think?
I think that you could easily be the grunt work guy. That was kind of my role, right? I'm not great at finishing stuff. Right. So I was not great with making sure every cut was square. I wasn't great with all that. But if you give me a job to move this thing from point A to point B, if maybe the demolition could be a good one. You can't mess up demolition.
I mean,
right.
I hate to say this, but I've you take out a bathroom and they're like, we wanted to keep that toilet and it's broke. You can mess up demolition.
Okay.
Speaking from experience,
that is true.
Put a hammer right through a toilet.
That advice was not Charlie proof. Sorry.
No. Oh, I do. I agree with Miles on that last thing. I'll say, It's always hard to go from YouTube video to practice and just give yourself a little semblance. Maybe you can frame up something you want in your basement, perhaps a bar, put a little bar in your basement. Oh, you have that?
Charlie, I have a bar with 8 bar stools. I had the best New Year's Eve party ever.
Oh, good for you.
Did you build it?
No, it was here when the previous owner built it.
This is a great project. You're gonna tear that bar out and then you're gonna start from scratch because you gotta have some experience under your belt.
Yeah, if you could just give yourself one little bar to build, and maybe if you don't want to tear the one out in your basement, go build a bar in your garage.
Add on to the current bar.
Add on to the current one. Frame something a little bit, put up some drywall, give yourself just a base layer of something. And show up with a good drill. Don't show up with a piece of crap. Otherwise, that'll be a nowhere right there too. But when you build the thing, you'll have a decent drill. So I think there's some there.
Also, make sure the batteries are charged.
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot.
No, this is how he impresses a Miles. Show up with a corded drill. And just a big old extension cord. He's going to respect the hell out of a corded drill. Get yourself an old corded
drill.
Black & Decker. One of those hammer drills. That one of them suckers that can get through the concrete. He's gonna. I mean, he might be like, "Oh, I haven't seen one of them in a while." Let me see
The other
that sucker.
aspect is you can't show up in clean stuff. You cannot have just bought this at the store. And if you do got to buy something new at the store, you're going to have to rough that sucker up. You buy a tool belt, you're going to have to take a sandpaper to it, rough it up, roll it in the dirt, roll it in the mud, all that. Otherwise, that's going to expose you pretty fast as well.
Get a little 80 grit on it, okay? Don't go with a 330. You know, that's not going to help your cause. It's just going to polish it up nice.
Yeah, it'll look nicer.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, so that brings me to my next question. Do you understand the 80 grit and the 330 grit, what we're talking about?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
You know so or you believe so?
I guess I believe so. I guess I can't give you a 100% satisfaction answer.
We might be worse off than we thought, Charlie.
It's an easy one. Easy little 80 grit is the coarsest shit. The lower the number, the more coarse. The higher the number, because all it is all it is a little like a 1 grit is just like a 2x4 you just shove at another 2x4, you know? And then it goes all the way up to yeah, you get it.
Well, and that's actually very important. You're learning a lot. You're gonna have to watch a lot of YouTube, because if he tells you need to sand that before that they paint it or something, and he takes an 80 grit to it and doesn't use the polish grit on it, that could be tough. Could be bad.
Yeah. So a little wood, you know, honestly, I think we gave him a lot right on this deal.
I agree.
Yeah.
Any other questions that we haven't answered for you?
I guess now that we kind of got the construction part taken care of.
Oh yeah.
What are some things I need to tell my father-in-law Chad he has to include in his new house, basically? And I will say he uses this property for hunting land. He's got 90 acres, so he spends a lot of time here hunting, and we celebrate Thanksgiving. And what are some things he needs to include at what he calls the new farm?
Yeah, you're going to want a freezer wall. You're going to want a wall of chest freezers, and none of the freezers can match, and they all have to have some problem with the motor on the freezer.
And they all got to be plugged into the same outlet.
Yep.
You got to just use an extension cords and a 3-prong, like, you know, basically, you know, no power strips either. We don't need to protect against surges out there.
Yeah, no, just one of those little 3 splitters.
Yep.
Right?
Lots of 3 splitters.
Yeah. And I want each of the motors humming at a different key. So I want one to be like down here, like, mo, 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 and then one up here, and every motor just a little uneven in its deal, you know? It'll be a beautiful freezer motor, broken freezer motor symphony, and it's going to hold all the deers, because at any given time one of them freezers is going to go out, so they're not all going to be completely filled. You're just going to have to move the deer over to the one that's working.
You're going to want like 4 to 5 on, and then just have one be empty, because you'll know that one's going to go out, and you're going to have to do a little game of moving stuff around.
Musical deer freezer.
Exactly.
And he's always going to be working on one. And then above that, of course, you're going to have the trophy wall. You know, you got the trophies up top, and then the rest of the deer down below in the freezers. So make that a nice big wall. That'll be completely necessary. Miles, what else would you toss in there?
I would maybe toss in some like deep red carpet. You know, it can't be like a tan carpet in there, and it can't be very good carpet. It's got to be an off color, maybe a forest green, because that's going to match real well with the paneling I'm imagining they're putting up in here.
Yeah, you should have wood paneling on the walls, and at least one wall should have a accent of carpeting. So that same carpeting Miles is talking about, you're going to have a little bit extra. Have one wall where the carpeting just kind of crawls up the wall, and it's a little accent wall. Okay,
that is a good point.
Okay,
you're gonna need a carpet wall.
Yep. And then also you're gonna want to find yourself a pull tab machine, either through bribing of a local bar owner or just traditional thievery, and get that going on in there. You will need a constant supply of pull tabs. I'm not sure how that system
You
works.
can find them somewhere.
Yeah, you'll want to figure that out before. So
Yeah. And the last thing that I'll add is none of the furniture or any decor should match. If it matches, you've gone down the wrong way. So every chair needs to be different, every table, every light fixture, all of it. And if you can find an old neon too, that'd be nice.
And I would even go out there to the Salvation Army, find yourself a nice table and sand that sucker down and revarnish it as a welcome gift to your father-in-law to start the process off. It's going to cost you $10, maybe $50 in sandpaper supplies and whatnot, varnish, paintbrush, all that, and give him a nice new table for the deal. That would be really, really good, I think. A nice little offering there. Yeah. Aside for that, antler chandelier. And then if one of those freezers does officially screw the pooch, what you can do is cut the top off of it and then put some piping in the back and then take it into the restroom area, which should be a bar style restroom, and make that freezer a trough pisser.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Or you could just take it outside on the hunting land and put some tannerite in it and blow that sucker up.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a better idea. Just blow it up. Yeah, you can find anything to be a trough.
What do you want to lug that thing to the dump? No. Let's just blow it to smithereens.
No.
Yeah, you blow it up or bury it.
That's great. Okay.
Oh,
well, I appreciate all that advice.
Yeah, hang on.
Go ahead.
Last piece of advice on the freezer, too. You can actually bury that halfway in the ground and then pump hot water into it. Those make great hot tubs. That's the last thing I'm going to say. They're insulated, as you know. So, yeah. And do not take the top off because that's the top of the that's your hot tub cover. Okay, just don't lock yourself in there. All right. All right. Well, that it was great talking to you, and we were happy to really, give you some insight there.
Yeah. Can I get a buy sell trade in real quick?
Well, I suppose.
I have a Kenmore electric glass top cooking range for sale. My wife and I just updated our appliances, and so we have our old oven up for sale.
No, you don't. You have a gift to your father-in-law for the new place.
Did you hear what he just said?
I did.
Yeah.
Is it going to match
Great
the
point,
fridge or the microwave or the stove or anything else in there? They're not going to be a dishwasher.
Mm-hmm.
Does it match any of that? No, but that's exactly what we're looking for.
And you're gonna see that man cry. I mean, that glass top.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have gotten like $300, $400 for that thing. Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're off to
we're
a good
excited
start.
for you, man. I think that the world is your oyster.
Yeah.
And good luck. Got to do some research, side project, get those freezers, all that. We're excited for you.
Send us a picture when it's
Sounds
done.
good.
We'll post it.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of the finished project.
Sounds good, man. Well, thanks for calling in.
Yeah, thank you. You guys have a great day.
You too now. Bye-bye.
I think the first mistake that he made is that he was calling it a house when it's really a hunting shack is what it sounds like.
It didn't seem like a house. I feel for the guy. I've been in my life. I've been in a lot of situations where I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, I imagine most of the time that's how it goes.
It is, but it's fun because then you learn a lot of stuff. I mean, but I think if you go into it with the attitude of I don't know anything, that's difficult. If you go into it with the attitude of I know everything, that's difficult. So I think giving them
down the middle,
a little baseline of knowledge. It's like when you go out drinking, you need a couple slices of pizza and your little base layer.
Something to soak it up.
Yeah. Because otherwise it doesn't stick on nothing like that. I hope he frames something in his garage because that'll help him quite a bit.
I agree.